All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. This is Richard Taylor, and I'm going to get right into this video. First of all, let me ask y'all a question, right? If you don't know who you are voting for, what is the reason that you're voting? Like, if you haven't done the research, found out what candidate is on the ballot, find out what each candidate stands for, and then you go to the polls and you allow someone who's been paid to push candidates in your face to make the decision for you, are you really voting for a purpose? Now, there's a reason I asked this question. Now, a few months back during last year's elections, I did a video about, one of the political pundits around here, Mr. James Broadhurst, and I detailed how, him and some others get paid to campaign for candidates. And, if anybody has ever been to the polls and spent a considerable amount of time at those polls locations, you see that they are individuals who approach people that are coming to vote and hand them information and give them brochures and tell them this who you should vote for. Now, in the words of Jay-Z, I can't knock the hustle. And excuse my 1990s references, that's the era I grew up in. But I can't knock the hustle. If an individual has some methods that candidates will pay them to go out and campaign for them, no matter if they like or dislike the candidate, then, by all means, get your money, right? I know election time only comes, once every 2 years or twice every 2 years, things of that nature. So I realize that, for lack of a better word, it's like tax season for these individuals that, have that business or have that business model where candidates pay them to push them. It's sort of like, harvest season, so this is the time where they can, put their skills to use and get their money. So I made a video about that aspect of it a few years back. But now I'm going to talk about the other side of it. And I'm going to give you an example. But the other side, once again, are the uninformed voters. The, for lack of a better word, uneducated or ignorant. Now, ignorant doesn't mean stupid, ignorant of the facts. That's what I mean about each individual political candidate. I want to focus on these individuals and ask you, the audience, is there any purpose in voting just to vote? Just because, it's a lot of people say, well, my ancestors died for the right to vote, so I'm going to vote, or it's my civic duty to vote, so I'm going to exercise that right. But if you are going to the polls and you don't even know who's on your ballot, you don't even know what district you're in, you don't even know the different candidates who are running for office, and you just get up there and you allow someone to give you a brochure and say this is who you vote for, is that really a wise decision? Because you don't even know if that person stands on what you believe in. So because someone looks like you or someone that tells you to vote for somebody, is that really indicative of what the voting process is supposed to be? Or are we supposed to vote with an intended purpose for intended objectives that we want the people that we're voting for to undertake? Now, I'm going to just give you an example. Now, I'm running for District 3 school board member, along with two other candidates, very reputable candidates, might I add. And so I went to the polls a couple of days, and then I went to the poll the last day. I think it was Friday. So I stood out there for a minute, greeted a couple of individuals that were out there, talked, laughed, and joked. And so then I decided, okay, well, I'm not going to be out here too long, but just let me see, because I already know how the process goes. So in this particular time, I was just about to leave, but then I see a middle-aged or older black couple come up in their car. And they come up, they're walking towards the polling site or the polling location. And, the the usual suspects, might I add, I won't say any names, but the usual culprits, the ones who are already, are always out there, once again, making their money, campaigning for their, sponsors, for lack of a better word. So I see these individuals, about 4 different individuals, each with their, individual information. They run up to the people, and, the lady, to her credit, has a notation, and she's looking and said, okay, well, District 3, or so we're District 3, and, she's going down the list, but before she can even get to, 10 steps away from her car, she was bombarded by, once again, about 4 individuals, trying to see who district was she in so they can give them the information. So I stand back for a while because I don't want to bombard them. So I'm just looking at these people talk. And then they take the information. The guy said, well, I'm voting for everybody. And then, they receive different brochures, or this is the judge you should vote for. This is the state representative you should vote for. This is the commissioner you should vote for. Don't vote for this person, right? So they're influencing these people. And so finally, when I guess the pressure was off, everybody handed them their information. So I walk up to the gentleman and the lady, introduce myself, and, I tell them, okay, well, if you're in District 3, I'm running for the school board, and, I'm Richard Taylor. And before, I can even finish my sentence, once again, one of the usual culprits or the usual suspects comes in and hands this gentleman a card and say, well, this is, if you're in District 3, this is who you vote for the school board. And so it was at that moment that I said, okay, I'm not even, going to participate in this, because I don't even have that type of energy to exert that type of back and forth or that type of pressure to individuals who obviously are ill-informed. So once again, these people take their information and they go in there and they vote, right? And so I said, okay, well, I said, okay, this is how it's going to go. I don't, and once again, if anybody has been at the polls, and you can deny it if you want, people see what goes on out there. They actually had a line drawn where the people who are campaigning under those tents could not go past. Now, the reason I realized this because I saw the Board of Elections worker, Mr. Nicholas, up there standing by the door. So I just wanted to go and talk to him, shake his hand, tell him what's up. And so he looks at me, he's like, no, you can't pass that line. I was like, nah, I'm coming to speak to you. There's no campaigning, past this time. So obviously there has been some issues about aggressiveness in that arena. Nevertheless, I just said, okay, well, this is not my style, honestly. I likened it to, my times of hustling on the block where, everybody has a substance and cars come through and everybody's running up and elbowing each other and say, here, buy my stuff. That's what I like and what I see at the polls. And once again, you can, if this rubs you the wrong way, that's just my opinion. However, on the flip side, right? And once again, I have to make this disparity. A nice Caucasian lady, and I don't know if she's nice, let me not say that, you know what I'm saying? So, but I'm pretty sure she's nice. So a Caucasian lady walks up and she's coming in to vote, obviously, and the same culprits, for lack of a better word, try to run up to her and ask her questions. Hey, what district are you in? You coming to vote today? Who you voting for? And she immediately said, no, thank you, I'm fine. And she went in there and she cast her vote. And to me, that was very telling. Because, and once again, I'm just using this particular example. I'm not saying all people are this way. But through my time of being around and watching, it is mostly the people who look like me who will stop and, ask questions and, well, oh yeah, this is who's running. Oh, this is who wrote. Oh, yeah, this is who. Okay, okay. So they actually don't have a clue even about who's running for what particular office. So if you are going to vote, and there's judges on the vote, there's county commissioners, there's of course school board members, there's state legislators, there's several different candidates on this ballot. So please tell me, how effective would your vote be if you're just going out totally ignorant on who's on the ballot and what they're standing for, but you will allow people to just hand you a paper and say, vote for this guy? How effective is that vote? What is your purpose for voting? Please explain to me. I think this is the valid question. And that's why I entitled the video, Voting Without a Purpose. What is your purpose for voting if when you get to the polls, you have no knowledge of who's even on the ballot, more or less what they stand for, who they are, what have they done in the past, but you will allow people who have been paid to promote this candidate to influence your decision. I think that is not indicative of what, and I have to use this cliche, indicative of what, our ancestors died for, or indicative of what being involved in the political process is. If you are uneducated, ill-informed, and being able to be influenced by other people, how effective is your vote? Please tell me. So I hope this video makes sense. I'm not going to get into, any other details, because if anybody has been out there, you know how that goes. But, y'all tell me if that makes sense. To come to the polls totally ignorant of who you're voting for and have someone sway or persuade you to vote for individuals who you know nothing about. But you're going to take the word of, someone who's been paid to promote that candidate. I don't know. You tell me. Am I tripping, or, is that the way that this thing's supposed to work? Once again, I'm Richard Taylor. My number is 919-587-7782. Peace and blessings. If you do know, only thing you have to do is, once again, watch this platform, social media, or whatever. You know what I stand for. So if you do choose, once again, or if you do feel that I would be a breath of fresh air to what has become the mundane, the status quo in the school board, then, I will definitely accept your vote. But please, once again, if you don't vote for me, please at least take the time to be informed. At least know who's on the ballot before you go. And most preferentially, please know, what the person stands for before you go. But peace and blessings. I'm out. I'm not going to hold you too much longer, but I got another story about this this campaign that I'm going to probably do later on. But peace and blessings. Y'all have a good day. I'm out.